Welcome back to Basin Hot Rods. We are back on the Cobra, as promised. Now, before I actually do body work, which is going to be coming up the next day or so, the beginning of that, I've got some loose ends to tie up on the chassis because I have not yet spoken to the company that's going to assist me with the dialing in of the EFI system. So I need to have the chassis ready to load up and go at a moment's notice. I've got some loose ends to tie up on that. That's what I've been doing today. Let's take a look. First and foremost, been doing some cleanup. Of course, things stack up after it sits for a while, so I've been cleaning up in here, getting all this stuff ready. I've got it, it's really, really dusty, so I'm about to blow it off and clean things up. That way everything's nice and neat. I have since physically attached the trunk pan, so it is bolted in and permanent and ready to go. So that is no longer an issue. This right here is a crossbar. Those are the, by the way, those little brackets there are the brackets for securing the hood. But that crossbar right there is for this. Recall, I am actually doing the standard, basically the grill opening. There's no grill, so I'm having trouble finding actual verbiage that I need for that. But the grill opening has a splitter that acts as a wing or a spoiler of some sort to create a little bit of downforce. It actually mounts in the center of this. Now, obviously, it mounts on the ends of this, but up inside here, it has to mount to something as well. I had to get creative with that because these were hand-built cars back in the day, and each one of them was different. This is what I've devised. Here in front, you can see that I've got some notations there and there, where this basically mounts right across here, and the splitter bolts to the bottom of that. So I'm about to drill the holes in this, get this ready to mount up. Okay, crossbar is in place. It is level. Everything's good to go on that. That's another thing checked off. I've also done the wiring, got all this mapped up and ready to go where it's tied away nice and neat. Now all I've got left to do on this is some cleanup, and I'm also going to mount the seats because I have to have the seats in it so they can take it to the shop and get it worked on. After that, I'm going to resecure the battery tray, get all that done, and then the chassis should be just about ready to go. Sorry about the fan noise. I know it's noisy, but it's also hot in here. Next, I'm going to remount the hood hinge mounts. Okay, I will fine tune these once I get the hood back on, but those are in place, ready to go. Okay, the seat's in. Got to clean it up just a little bit. Got a little bit dusty from me sitting in it. I've only got this side bolted down because the other side is very difficult to get to, and it's going to have to come back out anyway when I get ready to do the carpet. So I'm going to be done with that for now. Move over to the other side, and I think I'm going to take the plastic bag that this came in and cover the seats up that way that they don't get dirty. Camera battery crashed, so I couldn't actually get this on tape, but I did get this in. As I stated earlier, the passenger side, I've got the inside bolts need to be bolted in because it's just really difficult to get to, and I'm going to have to actually get up under it and have somebody on the top side working with me. Same goes for the front right corner of the driver's seat. Now, they're in there good enough to do what we got to do, which means taking it up to the garage that's going to work on the fuel injection for me. So the seats are in. Figured out how to get that done. The only one that is adjustable is the driver's seat, and of course I'm the only driver on this one, so I have a feeling it's going to be right where it is, and that's going to be that. But she is in there and actually is quite comfortable. I'm probably going to get dust all over this, but I'm going to set my camera down here. I'm going to walk around and have a seat in it so you can get an idea of what we're looking at here. Sorry about that, let me get this adjusted. Getting in and out of a Cobra is always a little bit of a challenge, especially for somebody over 6 feet, which I am. But the good news is, see if I can change this just a little bit and elevate it up. The pedals are comfortable. I'm not entirely cramped. Gear shift is right here. Everything is perfectly within reach, so I think it's going to be cool. Well, next we're going to get to work on the body work. I want to thank you for joining us for this video. And again, sorry I did not get the footage of actually getting the adjustable track together. It looked really complicated at first and there were no instructions, but once I figured out where the bolt holes on the bottom of the seat goes, it went right together, no problems at all. So we're good to go there. Please hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.